sao penye so la ya nganzu gi tepso da gasu shu jikche ni ne nganzu de ya nganzu gyagyo chi ne mangu ji ore da nang shin gi ne nganzu soba ka da ne kodo zo mangu ji pe yo samo la modo na ya jikche da nang shi ne nganzu samo mao be ne da nganzu di shung di pe ji gi ya wo yung le samo This is 당연히시다 베개나 마슈체 아주데 군데 마고지 인지에 자네 인지다 마슈조 슈이 Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great joy this evening to celebrate and welcome 7 new Tibetans to Canada and also to our community who just arrived the other day under Canada's Tibetan resettlement program. As you know, His Holiness the Dalai Lama in 2007 had sown the seed where His Holiness requested the Prime Minister to bring in Tibetans from the remote area of Arunachal Pradesh. And now today we see the tree that's finally bearing fruit. My name is Sering Wangyao and I represent the local chapter of the Project Tibet Society. On behalf of the Tibetans, I would like to truly thank the Canadian government for its openness to Tibetans and in keeping in its humanitarian traditions through this initiative. This would not have been possible without the collective effort of individuals and organizations, and some of them are here. And now on to Nima Dojla, our national Project Tibet Society National Director.
Didn't realize how high this podium is. Anyway, I'm absolutely thrilled to be here today, particularly for seeing the results of our work for the last 4 years or so. So before I get into that, welcome our friends, Honorable Senator Kenney, Parliament, and then of course our benefactor, Will Sutherland, who's been helping us and who's provided us those initial seeds of funding to help us with that. And our consultant and advisor, otherwise, with all this stuff, who must help in getting moving this project through, and the new friends and new supporters who come through to help with this project. I'm not sure where to begin, other than I was just overwhelmed, absolutely, by the emotions of what happened in the last 30 years, 30 hours now, 30 years, yeah. 30 hours or so of, it felt like 30 years, the last 30 hours. To recognize, first of all, I think it's an important aspect that we often forget. Just remember, about 30 hours ago, when the 7 of them who were here boarded on a plane in India, they were stateless. That's all they had known for their entire life. And after arrival in Toronto yesterday, at about 3-ish p.m., for the first time in their life, it's the beginning of some sort of permanency, some sort of future, and a journey to have a citizenship of perhaps, and I shouldn't say perhaps, I know, the best country absolutely in the world. And so,
now I would like to ask Member of Parliament, Tibetan Parliament in Exile, Ministerial, to say a few minutes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to say my gratitude to the Canadian government for giving us such an opportunity for our brothers and sisters from Arunachal Pradesh. This story was started since the 2007 when His Holiness has requested all the Right Honorable Stephen Harper to look after the few 2,000 Tibetans from that area. Right after that, we have started the process how things are going to be like this, which happened today now. It was really a tough and a long journey to reach today's the conclusions which we have we have finally yesterday landed 17 Tibetans, brothers and sisters from Arunachal Pradesh, and it was a privilege to receive them in the airport as a member of Parliament for Tibetan Parliament in exile.
Now, on behalf of member of Provincial Parliament for the Parkdale and High Park riding, on behalf of MPP Sheridan Obu, would like to say a few words and bring our message here.
Good evening. My name is and I'm here today to bring greetings on behalf of Sheridan Obu, your member of Provincial Parliament for Parkdale High Park. I want to extend a warm welcome to the newest members of our community. That is not only the Tibetan community, but the larger community of Parkdale High Park, of Toronto, and of Canada. The Tibetan presence in Parkdale High Park is alive and well, evidenced in the restaurants, shops, and streets of our riding, and it is a great honor to represent and serve the largest Tibetan constituency in Canada. Today, the welcoming of the first group of Tibetans is significant in the history of Tibetans in Canada. It tells the story of courage and resilience of the Tibetan people. And so, I congratulate Project Tibet Society, National and Toronto Chapter for your incredible work.
Now, next I would like to call upon Honourable Bernard Trottier, Member of Parliament for the Etobicoke and Lakeshore riding.
Good evening, bonsoir, Tashidele. It's a real pleasure to be here this evening. Tonight is a very joyous occasion, the first group of immigrants from Arunachal Pradesh. It's been a long journey, and this long journey started with the first step that was taken by our Prime Minister when he met with His Holiness the Dalai Lama in his office many years ago, in 2007. And at that time, it was viewed as a very strong political statement to have that meeting. But more than anything, it was a strong humanitarian statement, because His Holiness is such a great humanitarian, and really someone we all admire across all of humanity. And with that step, Jason Kenney, when he was Minister of Immigration, started the process where we could settle some of these people. And through the hard work of the Project Tibet Society, today has become a reality for you people. And as you remember Parliament for Etobicoke Lakeshore, those of you who live here, I see the new lives that people have started here. I visit some of the elementary schools, and I see young Tibetan children starting brand new lives and looking at this great country with all the wonder of the opportunity that it provides.
Next, I would like to call upon a former senator and friend of Tibet, former Senator Consiglio Dinono, to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Tashidele. Canada at this time is not a particularly warm place. So the snow, the ice, it's quite cold. But I want to assure the new arrivals, not only the 7 that are here, but the other 10 that are going elsewhere, that the welcome is very warm from all of us. Tabutala, where is she? Is she hiding? All I want to say is, this young lady, ladies and gentlemen, will be a member of Parliament one day, so you've got to make sure that you support her. Having said that, if it wasn't for the gentleman behind me, this guy here, what's his name? Kenney again. Yeah, that's it, Kenney. Whose commitment was just truly enormous and outstanding and colossal and all the things that you want to do. He's carried the can, he's carried the load for a very long time, which Minister Alexander, we expect you to continue to carry, obviously, from now on, right? And our Prime Minister, who has never said no to any reasonable request for the Tibetan cause. So, but Minister Kenney and the Prime Minister have been the greatest supporters that we have in this country. So we should thank them.
Thank you, Con, for those wonderful words. Now, I'd like to call upon Honorable Minister Chris Alexander, Federal Minister of Citizenship and Immigration.
Thank you so much. Good evening. Bonsoir. Mashidele to everyone. It is a very moving experience to be here with all of you on this occasion. To see new lives beginning and to see our community, our Canada, doing what it does best. Providing that welcome, Senator, even though the weather is brisk, keeping its promises, because that is the right thing to do. And I would really like to see all of you, all in the Project Tibet Society, Canada Tibet Committee, in this cultural centre, donors, believers, volunteers, for your exemplary work in making this commitment a reality, and for the approach that you are taking in resettling this most deserving group of you Canadians from far away Arunachal Pradesh to our shores. Because it is that spirit of independence, self-reliance, self-confidence, community involvement, with, of course, the support of all of our services at all levels, that brings the very best experience and makes and turns your stories into the stories that will change Canada.
I'd like to introduce Honorable Minister Jason Kenney, Minister of Employment and Social Development, and also the Minister of Multiculturalism, to say a few words on this joyous occasion.
Thank you very much. Bonsoir. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much to all of my colleagues who are here, and especially to our newest Canadians. Can I ask those who have just arrived, who are the first arrivees in the Project Tibet Society, to please stand up? But I want to thank the Tibetan community and its supporters from outside the community for their generosity in making it easier to welcome you and the hundreds who will follow in your footsteps. For their sponsorship, for their volunteership, for their generosity, for their moral and practical help. So to Project Tibet Society, I want to thank all of them from coast to coast for making this possible. As I say, you are pioneers. You're in a country of pioneers. Mr. Alexander talked about the different waves of refugees who have come to Canada. You know, Canada was founded by the losers of history, someone once wrote. This part of Canada right here was founded by refugees from the American Revolution called Loyalists. French Canada were the losers of history in their part of Canada. My Irish ancestors came to here as losers of history, as refugees from the potato famine, from which my family has since recovered. The Highlands Clearance Scots, I don't know if those are some of the Alexanders. The poor post-war Italian immigrants who came to work hard. People who came with very little, sometimes nothing in terms of material wealth, but with great human richness. with great spirit, with great aspiration, with a great dedication to freedom. And I see that in your eyes. And so you will do honor, I believe, to His Holiness. You will be pioneers for another wave of Tibetan migration to Canada. You will raise, I hope, beautiful young Canadian Tibetan children. And there is a reason why His Holiness wanted you to be here. I think he wants you to be here in part because he understands that for the Tibetan culture and the Tibetan Buddhist faith to survive and to flourish, it must happen around the world in the diaspora. It cannot. We all hope that someday there will be justice in Tibet. But we all know that the Tibetan communities in the diaspora in lands like Canada have the freedom to practice their faith. Imagine, behind me is the image of His Holiness, an image that would be illegal and that would result in people being thrown out of their houses if it was found in their home in Tibet. Here this will be in your home, as it was in India, and here you will be able to teach your children the tradition of your ancestors. They will be able to pray and worship in your tradition freely. They will be able to be fully Tibetan, and in being fully Tibetan, be fully Canadian. So these are great gifts that Canada offers you, and in return we simply ask your loyalty to Canada, your hard work, and your fidelity. And I know that you will do those things in your Canadian lives. So congratulations, and may God bless you, God bless Canada, and God bless His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Minister Kenney, for those inspiring and wonderful words. So now, this concludes our program over here in this Harmony Room.